It's a big arena, and when you arrive for the first time and have your first kick in footy and do that, you've got to feel really good about yourself. Billy Stretch gets the congratulations of his teammates for entering the AFL ranks with a goal with his first kick. Outstanding stuff, but it hasn't been good news on the scoreboard for the Demons. You can see McVeigh getting plenty of it, and a 20-point lead at the moment with the Sydney Swans, who are playing pretty good. Kirk Tippett with 3 goals. Cameron Ling is downstairs. He's not all that far off talking to the coach, John Longmire, when he finishes addressing the team. What did you make of it all, Lingy?
Well, it was certainly an arm wrestle that first quarter there. Both teams high tackling teams. 44 tackles in that first quarter, which is very high. You'd be looking at about 30 on average per quarter. So both teams having a genuine crack. John Longmire just talking to his troops there. I'm sure pretty pleased with that first quarter. John, we're just talking about the pressure and the tackles in that first quarter. Both teams, I sense you'd be pretty pleased with the way your boys had a crack, though.
Yeah, we are, Lingy. I mean, both teams were having a go. Yeah, the tackle pressure from both teams was pretty high. So, yeah, it's been good to see.
And Kurt Tippett up forward, really hitting the scoreboard. He's been quiet so far this year, but it's good to see him get a little bit of reward there as well.
Yeah, look, he spent more time in the ruck this year, of course, and but it's good to get those 3 goals early, but we've got to keep going.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Yeah, the coach of the Sydney Swans, John Longmire, down there, and we're looking at the sub there, Jack Watts on screen at the moment. It's a good problem to have, Richo. We've got so much talent that you've got to work out how to get them all involved, and Adam Goods has been relegated to the subs vest tonight. Just feel that Tippett and Franklin hasn't quite worked for them in the last couple of weeks, but they've pushed Buddy more up the ground. Tippett's been closer to home tonight.
Yeah, they have. Tippett's been close, and early in the game, Franklin was getting right up to the half-back line, but after about the first 10 minutes, it did not really get inside, or didn't get inside Melbourne's 50 for the last 20 minutes of that first quarter.
Well, this is a big night for the Melbourne Football Club. Marquee night in support of Breast Cancer Network Australia, and they would be wanting to find a way to get into the game. It's a really good tackle there from Spencer. Swans get the kick forward, though. Heaney worked off it by Salem. In comes Jack, a little toe poke. Look at the leg speed of Rowan on display. Gets it out wider to Mitchell, centering ball, but he's got a good position on McDonald. McDonald did pretty well. Lumumba got a fingernail on it. Reed forced his way through, then had a fresh air swing, and Garland, he just wanted to concede our rush behind Richo to start the second quarter.
Das, we're talking about goal kicking just before quarter time. Now, in 2000, the competition average for a set shot was 64.2%. In 2005, it had gone down to 63.8%. 2015, it's now down to 61. So it is going down in the last 15 years. And I guarantee you in 2000, the goalposts were shorter than what they are now.
Oh, come on, Richie. You're not going to go on this short goalpost.
No,
the more accurate you'll be.
He's launched it again, BT.
I know you'd think I'm stupid.
He's obsessed with the height of the goalpost now, mate.
Turned into the nutty professor.
I reckon if we experimented for, 8 or 9 weeks with shorter goalposts, it'd improve.
Lumumba's kick is good out wide, and here he is, Billy Stretch again. He's looked very comfortable out there tonight, no question about it. A little bit of an up and under kick, gives Dawes an opportunity in the air, but Grundy did well.
Just gives you the feeling when you're looking at the goals that they're closer together, Brian.
Just on Brett Goods, Adam Goods there, the sub. He said a few weeks ago, and he was quoted as saying, "I'm not on a crusade, I just don't like the sub idea." I wonder how it's sitting with him tonight, or whether he's now in a position where he's forced to take that position. He has no alternative.
Well, he obviously chose to go back to the NEFL after having the one game in the subs fest earlier in the year.
It's Daniel Cross, the former Dog.
You know what, though, if he gets through the season and they're right at the pointy end, which they probably will be, no, his body should feel pretty good.
Cross. Even though his mind will have been working overtime in the middle of all that, Richo.
Or we can just get rid of the sub.
Just wondering, may well go next year, who knows. Parker, really good little bit of hand candy sold, and now delivers to Buddy. Corralling is McDonald, not wanting to run at him because he knows Buddy's got a great evasive step. Defensive punch away. Lloyd ran into a brick wall. Buddy went and got his own footy in the end. Now Jones, can they go now? Can they get out of the stranglehold that Sydney put teams under when it's in their forward half of the ground? Little up and under. Brayshaw was called to McDonald. Nice kick. That's what you got to be. Perfect. Hogan now wants it long. Opportunity for Garlett long. Didn't go long though. Pedersen was there, and eventually over the line, Tumpus.
Yeah, he could have gone to Garlett there, GPT, as you called it. He's kicking 2 goals a game, Jeff Garlett. He's been a success for Melbourne so far. Been a handy recruit.
The Melbourne Footy Club have come with the intention tonight of really trying to be a little bit more ambitious with the footy. They just haven't had a chance. Here is Jeffy Garlett. As Richo pointed out, he's a genuine goal kicker. Hasn't had an opportunity really tonight. Cross, good tackle applied by Hanbury.
Oh, he handballed that.
He's not happy, Crossy.
Go through, Hero. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Stay there, Hero. Great. Hero, stay there.
You really heard the reaction from Daniel Cross. He was absolutely going off his head. Are you serious? Thought he got a fist on it. Now the Swans through Rowan.
It appeared that he did.
Jack's kick. McDonald is a really talented young player, Tom McDonald. He's got a big job tonight on Buddy Franklin, and that was well read. The kick's dangerous, though. Hanbury liked it. Got in the picture on Hogan. Hogan did well to Lumumba, and now Jones. Going to take a bounce. Garlett all on his own inside 50. The short one was on. Kick's going to come in the Garlett direction, but they get back on mass, and now he's going to compete with three. Take it round the neck. Got his head taken off, Jeffy.
Okay, high tackle, Melbourne.
Played it well, Jeffy Garlett. He took clean possession, Richo, and it forced the error from Grundy, and they desperately need this from Jeffy Garlett.
Yeah, he's got to kick this one. He was 3 on 1 there, as you see. Jeffy kicked 2 goals a game so far this year. Been really lively. Hasn't just been kicking goals, getting plenty of the ball in the forward half for Melbourne.
Really important moment in the game coming up here. Jeffy Garlett, he's kicked 10-13 for the season. Yeah, only goal, 11-minute mark of the first term. This is what he's paid to do, Jeffy Garlett. Nice strike of the footy. Is it going to hold its line? It just drifted to the near side. Very disappointing miss.
I mean, they've always been important players, small, crumbing forwards, but they're more important than ever with the pressure that they can put on. They can hit the scoreboard as well. If you don't have elite small forwards in your team, you can't win a flag now. All the good teams have elite small forwards.
Bigs like Reid are important as well.
Hold there, Jay.
I mean, you look at the Hawks, they've got Bruce, Rioli, Puopolo, Freo, Walters, Ballantyne. Just crucial ingredients.
Rowan through the middle of the ground. Rennie's full journey. He's hammered that long. Really long. Tippett probably won't get back unless the bounce helps him. Now an opportunity for Parker. Mumba's got him locked up. Tippett did really well. McGlynn didn't even look at the goals. He was trying to bring one of his teammates into it. Very unselfish indeed. Salem applies the tackle with Garland.
Next leg. 1 metre, Jake, stay there.
Deep in attack again here, the Swans. Lumumba getting back, Brayshaw lurking, and Jack. And they're also very good at this, the Sydney Swans. They love repeat pressure inside 50 and just maintaining the ball in their forward half of the ground.
Well, they know they're such a good stoppage team. Quality players, Josh Kennedy around the ball, Hanbury, and that does give away a free kick this time, so they're happy to have it in stoppages, in congested situations. They know they're efficient. Once they do win it, then they explode away from it. Played
it pretty well, Don Tyson. He's just down on his output from last year, Tyson. He averaged 24 disposals 2014, just 19 so far in 2015. Good look at what confronts Christian Salem, and there's not a lot of movement to come down the line, and that's a good effort from Dawes. They really need. Oh, dangerous kick's going to come unstuck, BT.
And McGlynn gets an open look from 50, but squanders an opportunity out of bounds on the full. It's a risky kick, that one back in, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. There's a bit of support coming through on Twitter for the goalposts, Brian.
Oh, come on, Richo.
That's at Jack Dyer 17's his name on Twitter. He said there is scientific evidence which supports your goalpost theory. Taller posts reduce accuracy, Brian.
Here's Heaney. He goes in short and finds Parker, and he'll get a set shot at goal. I'm going to see you do a little segment for the pre-game show next week and get Professor Scientist in and just prove that theory to us.
That's it, Luke. Mark's here.
Yeah, they are. And they're a lot taller than they used to be.
They are, and it's amazing how they get a piece of material to go that straight, that high, without any support, Richo. Have you thought about that?
No, I didn't come into it.
Well, think about it. Parker, from inside 50, pulled it a little left, searching for the journey, and Umpire Chelsea Roffey says one behind.
They extended the height of the post because they thought that the accuracy of actually determining whether it was a goal or a point was a real issue. I think Eddie Maguire might have been a big part of that after Anthony Rocker's missed goal. So why don't we just put the posts all the way up to the roof?
He might be wanting them a bit shorter now, Ed.
It's unintended consequences. Richo's going with his theory that it closes the goal kicker in. Here come the Swans again. Melbourne, well, they just need a shot at goal. McGlynn, beautiful front and centre. Sydney are going to go on their merry way. They've got 4 in a row. Back to 27.
Players, tip it in there. That is a perfect crumb. Hit it at pace. Timed his run perfectly, front and square. Gee, it's so important to have players that can get a loose ball, get inside 50, kick goals.
Lingy, what can you put your finger on for if you're a Melbourne supporter that they should do here at the moment?
Well, it does come down to the contest. Good start there, flicking the ball out, but then their ball use. They can't just keep giving it back to the Swans. They've got a chance now, though.
They have indeed, as Kennedy Harris went past. He was a little bit late having the ball farmed out. Now Rampy on the counter-attack with McVeigh and Mitchell. Mitchell had a bit of a look. McGlynn over the head, and now an opportunity for the Melbourne to come back again. Salem needs to be precise with this kick, and he is to Tyson.
And BT, it's this kick here. If they do look to come in board, they have to hit it. They can't keep giving it back. Sydney defended it really well, forced a long one down the line.
And not every player in the team is capable of making that kick, Lingy. You've got to have it in the hands of the right half a dozen people, don't you?
That's right, and the players who can't make that kick have got to know their limitations too, and maybe they are the ones who go the safer option. And then when the ball does get in the hands of the good ball users, they can pull the trigger on that short one through the middle.
There's Spencer back in the side. He's got to contend with big Mike Pike tonight.
Related to the great Lee Matthews. Spencer, Jake Spencer.
Is he really? Like to harness a bit of lethal right now, Jake, and see if he can impose himself in this contest. They need a real spark. You have to say it's been a disappointing performance so far from the Demons. You know, Daniel Cross will give you his heart and soul, and you can't keep that one in. It's a marquee night for Melbourne. It's a huge occasion. It's something that we look forward to every year, and so far, Rich, I have to say the disposal's been poor. They haven't really been able to give the contest that we would have expected.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to get any really good chains of possession happening. Early in the game they did. They got a couple, but it's been slim since about the 10-minute mark.
Right, can they get something going here again? They're kicking it straight back, and Swans are just so well structured up. They're winning all the key possessions and positions, and Nick Smith's kick was effective. Glenn wants to get it moving quickly. Almost could have marked that Howe. Double fister. He's athletic enough to go back and get it, Jeremy Howe. Now they just need to link up. Poor kick again. Hogan was out. Needed to do better. In fact, he's kept it in, Jesse Hogan. Can he get around Ted Richards? Richards was good enough to get it over for a boundary throwing.
I reckon what happens when you keep turning it over in that position of the ground, sort of mid-forward in the centre of the ground, you then stop running to create because you're too worried about the ball being turned over and getting burnt the other way, and then you stop running, and it's a bit of a chain reaction. So they've just got to hold on to the footy, the D's, and get some chains happening.
Oh, Bernie Vince. I think it was Mitchell that popped it high.
Time on.
Very high. Have a look at this. Had his head parked over the footy, and Bernie went on top of him with the outside of the knee.
Just a bit clumsy there, Bernie.
So Mitchell's okay, so that's good. High footy, Howe. The top, the Mumba now, opportunity. Zigged and zagged, and now Garland it was, in fact, had a little bit of a fumble. Hanbury in there, tipped it as well. Gee, it's not exactly pure football on a really beautiful night for good football.
1 metre, Jake.
Coaches, both of them working overtime tonight. 98 goals as a teenager, Johnny Longmire, when he played with the Roos. That's sensational stuff.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It is, as a teenager.
It just wouldn't happen now. No one would kick 98 goals now, but a teenager.
Yeah. He was a good player, Johnny Longmire.
When North Melbourne recruited him, Wayne Carey reckons he was chucked in as the steak knives. It's not a bad set of steak knives, the Duck.
May have been the greatest deal ever done in football, wasn't it? The King Wayne Carey packaged up with John Longmire. Hanbury goes forward again. Franklin McDonald's done a pretty good job in the one-on-ones. They just look so dangerous, Sydney. Can the Demon defence stand up, Salem? Look at the chase from Rowan. Looked over his shoulder. Well played. Nice composure from this young man, Christian Salem. A couple of bounces. First game of Billy Stretch has looked impressive. He's been a real highlight so far for Melbourne. They work it to centre wing. There's the first gamer there.
Nearly landed in your lap there, Lingy.
Yeah, just wore the boot of Dane Rampy on on my foot there. To the Sydney Pressures first class there. Dane Rampy going hard at Christian Salem, but good on Christian Salem being prepared to take the game on. That's what they've got to do. They've still got to be brave against this Swans outfit.
By the way, keep your head up, Lingy, and don't duck your head next time it comes your way.
I got a little bit nervous there, BT.
At the back door, Nate Jones went in and knew he was going to be tackled and pulverised. Accepted the consequences of that.
They're really mixing up. Here we go.
Look at this.
Lingy.
And look at Lingy duck.
Oh, Lingy.
Dane Rampy's thrown a nice little straight right at my head there, BT. I had to duck.
Very good. Lumumba. Mitchell there with him and not going anywhere. There's not a lot of flow in this game, it's fair to say, at the moment.
No, there isn't. And gee, Johnny Longmore is throwing around that forward 50 at the moment. Franklin was full forward a minute ago. Now Gary Rowan is. Franklin's come up the ground, so keeping the D's guessing back there.
They've been stung, Sydney, by back-to-back defeats, and the sense that they have come to the MCG on a mission tonight.
Back to basics.
I reckon there is a bit of it. I think it's just, let's get back. Footy's a simple game. We play our best when we are just super competitive, super tough around the football. They've got highly skilled players, and now it's up to the on-ball brigade from Melbourne to respond. We saw Bernie Vince, Nate Jones involved. Nice tackle from Jeffy Garlett.
They're just sharing the load through the midfield so well. Das Mitchell, the ball magnet, he's had 14. McVeigh's had 12. Jack's had 12. Kennedy's had 10. Hanbury's had 10.
And Richo, I love the fact Tom Mitchell's been taking Nathan Jones at stoppages, learning from one of the absolute best stoppage players, Nathan Jones. Mitchell's just headed straight to the bench now, but every chance he gets to Nathan Jones. That's the one thing John Longmire wanted to add to his game, was the ability to be a really accountable midfielder. He could obviously find the footy, but he had to learn that defensive side of the game, play him against the good players like Jones. It's a great move.
Gee, the way these two sides are playing, you'd think it's pouring rain. It's a perfect night in Melbourne, and yardage is really hard to come by in this game. Clean yardage.
Well, because it's a one-on-one game, it's not as easy to get flow happening. There's no loose player coming from behind the footy to get handball received. So you've got to get loose by running hard tonight and burning off your opponent. It's no easy ball.
Gee, it's a wonder we ever got a kick in our day, Richo, when it was used to be one-on-one then.
Right out behind. Right out.
Because that's what it's built around.
Well, there wasn't much interchange then either. See, the players who had more endurance, they were the ones that ended up getting more touches late in quarters.
Garland with the thump away. Kennedy looking for someone travelling in a forward direction. They're all going the opposite way. Vince in and under. Jones again commits and just gives the ball out to Tyson. He wanted to give it to Vince. And right in front of the MCC members. Reasonable crowd in the lower decks here tonight. As you can see, a bird's eye view from the Sydney cheer squad.
67 tackles for the game so far, 34 and 33 respectively. I think we might be on track for some sort of record. You're going to a lot of contests now. Vandenberg, he's been one of the good stories from Canberra off the rookie list, and really trying to make himself a permanent fixture. Speaking of good stories, Billy Stretch on debut has been super impressive. Kicked the first goal, great courage there. Vandenberg set it up, and then he went back with a flight, committed his body. That might inspire his teammates. Laidler, though, emerges with the footy, but he's got a one-on-one with McDonald. He wants it. He says, Laidler, just kick it down the line. I'll do the rest.
I'm Buddy.
I'm Buddy. And that's what happened. It was Buddy, and he was good.
Well called, Das. That's what he wanted. He just wanted to get it to me.
He is Buddy. He is the one-on-one specialist. If you're not going to kick it to him one-on-one, you're not going to kick it to anyone. McDonald, really well done. And talk about a guy that plays within his limitations. Tom McDonald knows the kicks he can make. He knows what he can do. And have a look at the commitment there as well from Vandenberg. Pike doing well. Parker. Buddy picks that up off the toes. It was a different pick up Kennedy. Such a nonchalant little give to Jetta, and a deliberate right foot slider off the side of the boot. McGlynn ducked under one. The second was a little. The all-in-one handball there from Hanbury to Jetta. A right foot from 50. That is incredible. A bending ball from beyond 50. Jetta, what a goal. You can't kick that far with that kick.
You're right, BT. When he kicked around the corner, I thought, no, he's just going to get this to the top of the square. There's no way known he can get the distance on it. Just kept going. Gets the release handball here from Hanbury, and you think, no, he couldn't get it around the corner. That's unbelievable. It's gone through. It's gone 55 metres.
This was the sweetest of timing, wasn't it? It was like a 3-iron in golf where you hit just perfectly and not that much effort required, and it sailed through post high. He loved it, Lewis Jetta.
What's it feel like to hit it through?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I've seen it happen before.
How many 3-irons go 55 metres, Dave?
Some that I hit regularly. Thrown a 3-iron 55 metres before.
Yours, fingers.
Nate Jones out of the centre. That's more like it. And Dawes on the end of a very nice pass. And they just need a settler here. Dawes is going to go back and normally does this part of the game pretty well, Richo, Chris Dawes.
Yeah, he's got a nice straight routine, BT.
He has. He's got a real textbook action, Richo.
He doesn't move off the line and everything's really straight.
15 gone.
Just the 9 marks for Chris Dawes in his 3 games this year. They really need a bit more out of a hard-working big man. Understatement is that they needed this one to go straight. We talked him up and he let us down. He pushed it out to the right through for a minor score. So closing in on half-time, they need to find something, and they need to find it now, Melbourne.
Play on. Mine. Play on forward.
Hanbury. Franklin. Gee, that's a great shot, isn't it? Seeing how it opens up and seeing how the players present up the ground. Play on calls the umpire. That won't be paid a mark to Heaney, so he gets rid of it straight away, and he did an incredible job all in one getting rid of that after he heard the umpire's call.
How's that ball movement? Straight down the middle. Reece Shaw made a really good run. Hanbury took the mark, and Reece Shaw ran. It was like an unrewarded run. Cross had to go to him, and that allowed Hanbury to play on.
I love the skill of Heaney to be able to, in the one motion, dispose of it and get it almost perfectly online. McDonald, sense that they've gone back into their shell of Melbourne. They started with this sort of play through the middle, take a risk. This is Newton, now a risky kick, and they've been punished a couple of times, and they're going to get scored against again here. Tippett to Kennedy. Kennedy will make them pay again, I reckon. This is getting ugly. Paul Roos can't believe it. We're out to 39 points.
It's not the position to turn it over. 50 metres out, straight in front of the Swans goal, and that's always going to be 6 points.
Just about all of their score from turnovers there, Sydney. 5 goals, 4 of their 7-6 from forced turnovers. Mitchell out the back to Laidler. Out of the Calder Cannons footy factory there with Ian Kite and the boys. Yet another one.
Tell you who's impressive, looking for highlights for Melbourne, Tom McDonald. As Jack Watts just puts the jacket on. He's the sub tonight, but McDonald, he's a potential All-Australian defender, Richo, that man on screen there. He's really holding up well in the one-on-ones against Buddy.
He's not only doing that, though, Darcy's defending, but he's second in the comp for intercept marks and possessions, so he's winning the ball back for his team. And he's getting plenty of the footy as well. He's had 11 touches tonight.
Doesn't look daunted by the task, as Kennedy has another ping across the face of
minding one of the most improved players in the comp at the moment, Tom McDonald. If not the most.
Lyndon done, and that's surely interference against Tyson there. There's Reid, and I don't reckon he disposed of it by hand or foot either. Newton, opportunity for stretch there, tackled. Heaney bundled over the line.
Right, thanks.
Newton it was.
Right on the borderline, I reckon,
of tunnelling.
Well, just
shepherded before it arrived.
Nearly shepherded before it got there.
Jones. Fast hands here. Well done, Spencer. Up against it here, Vincent. Barely the 15 metres to Brayshaw. It's really hard to move the footy forward.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to go to, BT. Brayshaw's, again, just going to have to go long down the line. But the thing is, there's no movement either. Melbourne players, they've gone back into their shells and thinking, well, we can't move the ball, therefore I actually won't run and try and get the ball. I'll just wait for the long kick down the line. Of course, that plays into the Sydney defensive setup's hands.
Nothing saps your confidence more as courageous effort. A couple of demons go back, collide. Angus Brayshaw, love the way he goes about it, but when you kick it to a contest and your forwards are getting outmarked regularly, that really just destroys the confidence. What a great contest that was. Brayshaw, Heaney, Salem all colliding.
Going to hear those names a bit in the future.
And Isaac Heaney behind play, he looks really, really sore. Get Lingy to check up on that. In fact, he looks in a really bad way. Hobbling badly. Right in front of Cameron Ling. He's about to go through the interchange race. Did you pick up on that at all, Lingy?
Oh, very sore, obviously, from what you can see there in that clash. It looked like it was just a corky, but now I'm worried about maybe a twisting of the knee because he's pointing to the back of that knee and he's in a lot of discomfort, Isaac Heaney. Tried to stay out there. You can see the hit on the hip, but maybe from the landing there, looked like what has caused the pain.
Looked like Salem's knee sort of went into the back of his hammy there, Lingy.
Yeah, also, I'm actually hoping it's just a really bad corky knock injury as opposed to any twisting, any landing type injury. They're checking out his knee, checking out the stability right now.
As Jetta, in the meantime, goes forward. McGlynn's got his man under the footy and Tyson beautifully. Free kick to Melbourne, so that'll come back. And Tyson, the recipient, you can see Isaac Heaney, as Lingy says, checking out the stabilising factors in those knee and comparing the good knee with the injured knee just to check the amount of flexibility in the ligaments in either side. Compare apples with apples. Here's Hogan, hasn't had a lot of opportunity. Richards with the punch away. Jetta, Vince, sharp hands. Vandenberg, and now Dawes as Shaw tries to piggyback him, and warming up the sub, Adam Goods.
Well, it's a tough night in that Melbourne forward half. Only, what have they had, 12 inside 50s. Kennedy Harris, 1 touch. Garlett, 1 touch. Dawes, 3 touches. Hogan, 4. So they just can't get the ball down there. The forwards are starving.
Gee, that was a poor boundary throw in then. Both ruckmans caught way off. There's Nick Davis, the former Swan, who's the runner for Sydney, and Adam Goods preparing down there, but I don't think he'll get a look at it before half-time here with just 2.5 minutes remaining. Hanbury, now he took him on, he needs to get rid of it, and he did. Parker in the middle, game kick to Rowan. Rowan is a long kick of the foot. He sold some foot candy to Salem. Now Buddy on the lead. McDonald did really well. Nice job, Tom McDonald. And he gets the free at half-back as well.
That's a great illustration there of what this man's doing this year. Johnny Longmire, filthy. But he spoilt Franklin, kept at it at ground level and draws a...
Leads the AFL in rebound 50s, Tom McDonald. He's having an outstanding start to this season. Can they get going forward? Cross gets it back now to Vandenberg, and the chip was a challenging one for Dawes. He took it pretty well. Now Pedersen is going to centre it. He's got a target in mind. It's Jeffy Garlett. Lewis Jetta with skill. Got some great support back there, although the forward pressure on Lloyd was enough to force an errant kick. Will they keep it in? Bertie Vince is working hard to do it. They might get another inside 50. Jones will do it. What can Hogan do? He set himself from behind. Did well to bring it to ground. Garland's pushed forward. Tackle on Reed. Or Richards, I should say, was effective enough. Bit more intensity here from the Demons. Can they get some scoreboard reward for it? And in the end, we're going to have a ball up just on the edge of the Melbourne 50. Another Swan. That's Jake Lloyd, who's got a bit of a limp up as well.
It's like a world title fight at the moment. They're both banging each other. No one will fall to the canvas. Just can't make any ground at all. Newton at ground level.
Goodsey might be subbed in earlier than he thought.
Okay, here's Richards. Had to meet the footy. Little opportunity. Vandenberg, Pedersen now. Did well, Rampy. Fired it back, Reed. Out of trouble now, Mitchell.
Play on.
So under a minute to half-time here.
15, play on, play on.
And this will be, if they do not score Melbourne, their lowest half-time score against the Swans since 1914, Richo.
Gee.
The 1-goal-3 where they're at the moment.
Be 101 years ago, Brian.
Gee. Cross And I don't think they're going to score with 20 seconds remaining. Injuries mounting on the Swans bench.
BT, and one of those injuries is Isaac Heaney. He's subbed out of the game. They have pulled the trigger, so Adam Goods is in just before half-time.
Okay, so he's going to get a half a footy. That's good news for him. Time going to run out here. 5 seconds and counting. Sydney dominating on the scoreboard, and that is Melbourne's lowest half-time score against the Swans since 1914. And I think the Swans are going to be 2 players down when they play the second half of football. Adam Goods will be activated, there's no question about that, into the game already. And a very, very dejected and disappointed looking Isaac Heaney there.
Yeah, the body language there, not great for Isaac Heaney. And likewise, Jake Lloyd will be all over those 2 big injuries in the halftime break. You also need to stick around. Mitch Clark from the Geelong Football Club has released a statement. He was distressed last night after the win in the rooms. We'll have the full update on Mitch Clark. We'll tell you about Isaac Heaney. It's a 40-point halftime lead to the Sydney Swans. A lot of news in the halftime break. Don't go anywhere.